New OCG ban list hits hard, and wow, the OCG's trying out some interesting tech choices for the new meta. You guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. Welcome to OCG Thursday, everybody, where the OCG's new ban list isn't even in full swing yet, but everybody's already began testing these sorts of ideas across the board. The first we're going to be looking at here is a Mathmech deck playing Swords of Concealing Light. Now, this is actually kind of interesting, just simply based on the fact that, you know, Swords of Revealing Light being able to generically flip down an entire field for a deck like this to capitalize on and just sweep through, you know, opponents' answers that they might have set up. It doesn't affect link monsters, but still pretty easy stuff. So you have triple OCG, triple Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, your one Barururu, one Donmari, one Doyan, one Gachagiri. You have one Hayari, one Mathmech Edition, triple Circular, one Sigma, triple Maxi with triple copies of Picardi, two copies of I Meet You, one Idol Reborn, two Called by the Grave, one Croissant Designator, two copies of Sign Up Mining with one copy of Ignister Island, one Mathmech Equation, one Raigeki, triple copies of Yield Swords of Concealing Light with one Talents, and triple copies of Infinite Permanence. Down in the extra deck, we have one Update Jammer with one Transcode Talker, one Ignister, Big Guy, one Splash Mage. Then we're playing one G Golem Crystal Heart. Now, it's two Cyberse monsters. You can target one Earthlink monster in your graveyard, special summon it to a zone that this card points to, and you do place one G Golem counter on this card. Alright, once per turn, blah, blah, blah. An Earth monster co-link with this card gains 600 attack for each G Golem counter on it, and it can make a second attack during each battle phase. Now, what Earth monster are we doing? You can Transcode Talker. A little interesting shenanigans for 500 here for this. Who would have guessed? We have one Firewall Dragon, one Heat Soul, one Dark Templar, two Dark Infants, one Wicked, one Access Code, one Alambertian, one Light Dragon, and one Wind Pegasus. And you got one Draw, two Nibiru, one Access Code, one Link Spider, two Dark Hole, one Feather Duster, two Lightning Storm, two Raigeki, two Talents, and one Red Reboot here, wrapping up your Mathmech list. Next up here is an Exosister list with the Beasted cards. Man, you know, even though I will say that we've seen a reduction in the amount of tier, I mean, the tier hits still make tier a very dominant deck within the confines of the format. Don't get me wrong about that. You definitely are still seeing, you know, value within these cards. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, one copy of Druid Worm, two copies of Magnamut, two copies of Dimension Shifter, triple copies of Ellis, one copy of Irene, triple copies of Martha, two copies of Sophia, triple copies of Stella, triple copies of Maxi, good old two copies of Called by the Grave, one Crossout Designator, one Armament, triple copies of Exosister packs, two copies of Pot of Prosperity, and then you have two Returnia, triple copies of Vadas, and triple copies of Infinite Permanence. Down here in the extra deck, you have one Celine with one Dahark, one Access Code Talker, one copy of good old Volo. Even though Volo is just stuff that you can capitalize off of these, it's still a card that you can play. You can also, you know, just straight overlay into Gaia Dragon and go further to town. We have two Magnifica, two triple Mikhails, two Gips, Betiels, one Jabrine, your one Osophiel, your one Zeus. And you got one more Magnamut, one Droll, one Holy Ball, one copy of Feather Duster, triple Raigeki, triple Anti-Spell, triple copies of Yield Solemn Judgment, and two copies of Solemn Strike here. Wrapping up your Exosister list, I do find it actually kind of interesting that we are citing Solemn Strike. I think it's been a very long time since we've seen like the application of Strike actually show up and be useful. It's not to take anything away from like the rest of the deck. It's just seeing Strike be relevant right now is quite interesting to me. Next up here was, this was from a 3v3 tournament here, and yes, that is a Crystal Beast Emerald Tortoise here with the Rainbow Bridge. If there are two or more different monster types among the level 10 or higher monsters on the field, oh lord. Both shuffle all cards except this card from both players' hands, fields, and or graveyards, and then each player draws 5 cards. Okay, first of all, you manage this card to add a Crystal Beast monster and one field spell from your deck to your hand. That's what we really care about here, is the fact that we can search for a Crystal Beast off of this and a field spell, which just searches for our Paralinio, all at the cost of playing an Emerald Tortoise. The OCG really is creative. So one copy of Agito, triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, one Emerald Tortoise with one Herald of Orange Light, triple copies of Kelbeck, one copy of Keldo, two copies of La Fenrir, triple copies of Maxi, triple copies of Mudora, two copies of Havnus, triple copies of Merly, triple Reno Heart, triple Shayren, and you got triple Foolish Barrel Goods, so you can drop this stupid good card. One Instant Fusion, one Paralineo, triple Tier Elements Scream, one Terraforming, one Rainbow Bridge Salvation, and two Solic. I still can't believe that they're doing this. Then we have one Sprint, one Elf, one Dahark, one Barricade Bug Blocker, one Asa with one Time Thief Reader, one Baguska, one Zeus, one Dweller, one copy of the Lulu Karos, two copies of Kitgalos, one Kaleido Heart, and two Draco Stapelia. Then we have one Druid Worm, triple Magnum, two copies of Called by the Grave, one Feather Duster, triple Raigeki, one Talents, triple Imperm, and one copy of Crime here. Wrapping up, really just a very interesting take, man. This is so freaking cool. Alright, next up here. Oh, this is Eldritch. Eldritch really does love this new card. During the main phase special summon, this card is a normal monster. Reptile, Earth, level 6, 2000 attack, 2200 defense. It's still going to be treated as a trap card as per usual. Then you can negate the effects of face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of other continuous trap cards that you control until the end of this turn. So, I mean, how many... You play a lot of continuous trap cards here. It's also very cool to see, like, Soul Drain here actually stepping up and seeing play in a deck like Eldritch. Like, I'll take it, ladies and gentlemen. So I have triple copies of the big, scary, golden ward Uwu. You have two copies of La Fenrir, your two Cursed Outland, one Black Awakening with one Foolish Barrel Goods, triple copies of Extrav with two Prod of Prosperity. Then, of course, you got triple Reasoning, because why would you just not want to play a card that facilitates your entire deck dumping itself? You have triple copies of the Apophis of the Swamp Deity, triple copies of Conquistador, two copies of Scarlet Sanguine, one Golden Land Forever, triple Hogwarrow, triple copies of Rivalry of the Warlords, triple copies of Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, of course, triple copies of Skill Drain, and of course, triple copies of Soul Drain. You have so many continuous trap cards in this deck, it's great. Extra deck down here, you have two copies of Vampire Sucker, one Lina, one Link Spider, two Link Spiders, two Juggernaut Libes, two Gustav Maxes, one Gengdari, one Gaia Dragon, one Sky Thunder, one Polites, two Polites, and actually one copy of Beatrice. Haven't actually seen that in a hot second. And then we have triple copies of Lava Golem, triple copies of Maxi, triple copies of the Big Ball, triple copies of Non-Fusion Area, and then triple copies of Solemn Judgment itself. Wrapping up our take for Eldritch. Overall, not too bad of a deck just to really see working out here. And the last we have here is Labrynth. Oh, wow. Actually, we're playing Necro Valley in here as well to kind of detour any real sort of shenanigans that the opponent might put up. And the graph of the big... Wow. Some interesting stuff going on here. So triple copies of Ariana, triple copies of La Fenrir, one copy of the Chandelier Dragon, one copy of my Clock, triple copies of Lady of the Labyrinth with one Lovely Labyrinth, triple copies of Maxi with one Labyrinth, one copy of Necro Valley, triple copies of Pot of Extravagance with one Archfiend's Ghastly Glitch, triple copies of Compulsory Evacuation Device, triple copies of Dimensional Barrier, two copies of Dogmatic Punishment, two copies of, two Lost Winds, two Metaverse, one copy of Ring of Destruction, two copies of Torrential Tribute, one Trap Trick, and triple Welcome Labyrinth. Then in the extract we have the one Underworld Goddess, one Abomination, we got good old News Reporter, good old Nightmare Unicorn, one Nightmare Phoenix, one Five-Headed Link Dragon, one Dahark with one Baguski, one Wind Pegasus, two copies of Big Grapha, one copy of the Fossil Warrior Skull Knight, and triple copies of Aninta. Side deck here, you got one Scythe, two copies of Lava Golem, two copies of Lord of the Heavenly Sky Prison, triple copies of Sphere Mode, two copies of Sanctum, one Eradicator, triple copies of Evenly Matched, and one copy of Waking the Dragon. Honestly, wrapping up your chunk of OCG goodness for the new list. What do you guys think about just kind of the rapid evolution of their format here? I honestly am loving the cool ideas. So what do you guys think? Please comment down below, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later with some more Koalas content. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.